Greetings, friends and spiritual rebels. Today, I want to segue back a little bit into holy days, what we commonly call holidays, and their place in our lives. Now, there are two times of year where I feel a lot of emotional distress coming off of the dominant culture around me, which would be Christians by religion, if not spirituality. And those two times of year are Christmas and Easter, but for very different reasons. I think the reason that Christmas produces a lot of distress, whether it's acknowledged or not, is because the holiday has been largely hijacked by the commercial culture and utilized for its means. So it becomes a competition on who can buy the best presents and who can give the most and who can do the most interesting things and who has the biggest spread and the most beautiful yard. And it it's very, very stressful for people to carry on with their lives, do all the things they're supposed to do, try to meet their own spiritual needs, because it's a time of year when we're supposed to be doing a spiritual acknowledgement. In fact, Christmas and Easter are often the two times when people go to church, whereas the rest of the year they might not. But you also have to meet the needs of family and friends and still work, although many people get time off during that period of time, not significantly so that they can just kick back and focus on other things. But it's a lot of expectation that's placed on that. And it's at a time of year where everything has shut down. December, the beginning of winter, is where you see things shut down and go into the quiescent phase. I think that the hijacking of the holiday for super competition on who can be the merriest and the brightest and the most beautiful, I think it's stressful. And I think it produces a lot of anxiety and a lot of confusion, because the role model for Christianity, the Christ, was a very humble man, a very giving person who didn't put on great airs and didn't try to outdo the others around him for how wonderful he could be. He was about sharing, and we're all in this together and we all help each other. And that doesn't seem to be what Christmas reflects. It's supposed to, but it doesn't. That causes stress. Easter is a whole nother animal. And I couldn't understand the wave of depression that I would always feel from the neighboring community at a time of uplift. Because for my discipline and for us, spring is the beginning of the year. It is the new year. It is when we celebrate new life and joy, and we put energy toward that because that's when the planting starts. If you're going to plant your seed, you want to put abundant life energy into it so that it will be fruitful. So that by summertime, you're going to have all of this wonderful food to eat, or flowers for your garden, or whatever you're doing with your vegetation, and also putting really good energy into the fauna, the other critters out there in the wilds, so that they too will have a wonderful new beginning, new year. Now, I see that Christians celebrate the new beginning by way of the resurrection, but the mental turmoil that's caused by the idea of a father bringing a child into the world for the primary purpose, seemingly, of torturing them to death, it causes a lot of cognitive dissonance, because anyone who's been a parent, most humans who are parents have a very different relationship with their offspring. They want their children to thrive. They want their children to outlive them. They want their children to have a long and healthy life. They want them to be happy. Aside from occasional life irritations where one might lose one's temper, the thought of torturing your child, or any child, is the furthest thing from most humans' mind, consciousness, will, intention. Quite the opposite. So, to have their supreme being, who is love, who is all powerful, who doesn't need anything from any of us, require the torturous death of not just anybody, but his offspring? And for us to be told, well, it happened to him so it wouldn't happen to you. He took your place. He's suffering for you. Why? Why would a loving God require that? And why would an omnipotent God arrange the universe in a way that requires it? We're just little mortals, and we wouldn't require it. And if we saw someone in our community treating their children or child, adult or young, in that manner, we would call them a criminal and remove them. As you can see, I get a little bit emotional when I talk about this because I'm picking up on all the emotions around me in regards to this. And I'm very happy when Easter's over and the confusion between, okay, we're celebrating new life and we've got the eggs and the rabbits and it's bright and sparkly and happy and we're together and we're celebrating and somebody died torturously. It's more than most people can easily handle. And it was one thing in their religion when no one was allowed to own a Bible. No one was allowed to see the Word of God, the story, for themselves. You couldn't read it. Only your priest would read it. If you were caught with the Bible, you were in trouble. It could be more than your life is worth to be seen in possession of it. They didn't want anybody to know so that nobody could think it through for themselves. Nobody could validate what they were told. They just had to take it on faith that what they were told is how it is. And there are some things that they were told that really don't bear scrutiny. Something to think about. Please do not let the holidays confuse or sadden you. Enjoy this new year, this new beginning, this spring. And welcome to the woods.